Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today I wanted to talk about this. Does your diagnosis matter? I'll get to that in a minute. So I hope everybody's doing well. It's actually surprisingly warm. Feels like it's in the 70s. Crazy for October, but not too shabby. Breathe in the peace. Exhale the noise. All right, so does your diagnosis matter? Well, first of all, in some cases, real significant things. You got heart problems, cancers, fractures. Yeah, those things matter. Infections, yes, those things matter. And we want to rule those things out first and foremost. Let's make sure there's nothing significant, life-threatening going on. Usually it's not. Usually most of the things we're dealing with are not life-threatening. They are life-impacting, but not threatening. So once you've ruled out all the major stuff, it's really important then to rule in this thing called the mind-body syndrome, TMS, perceived danger pain, or other symptoms. In other words, is it my brain creating the symptoms based on the perception of danger, or is my body truly causing symptoms? So here's the deal, though. One of the parameters is asking yourself, have the symptoms been going on for longer than 6 weeks? Why? Because typically, let's narrow this down to pain. If you've got pain lasting for longer than 6 weeks, it's usually TMS, brain created, based on the perception of danger. Why? Because physical injuries heal, usually within 6 weeks. So, there are 2 assessments. One is a pain test. It's not perfect, but it's a pretty good gauge as to whether or not the mind-body concept applies to you or not. Go to yourpaintest.com. All right. And then there is an FIT assessment, which is on my Getting Started page. So go to painfreeyou.com/start. And the FIT assessment will ask you a whole bunch of questions, and if even one is answered positively, that means your brain is creating the symptoms based on the perception of danger. Okay? So we rule out life-threatening. Then we rule in TMS. If you've ruled in TMS and ruled out the life-threatening, you know what? The doctor's diagnosis about their opinion of what's causing the pain doesn't matter, because we know you've already ruled in TMS. Your diagnosis is TMS, perceived danger pain. Now, yes, it's a self-diagnosis that's done with answering some questions, but you can also look at your own life experience and say, this happens, that wouldn't make sense if it was a structural problem. So it's really, really important to get clarity. Clarity is the number one job, because as long as you're like, I don't know, it might be physical, it might be my body, it might be something else, you think your brain's going to turn off the symptoms or the pains? I'd venture to say no. So it's really, really important to get super clear that my body's not the issue. Holy cow, that's cool. My body's not the issue. Awesome. If you take the pain test and it scores above a 29, that's awesome news. If you do the FIT assessment, FIT assessment, and you check off at least one, maybe more, that's awesome news. That means you can teach your brain to turn off the pain. You're not broken. Best news in the world, right? And then don't go getting afraid of your brain. Well, if my brain can cause this pain, what else can it do? No. Your brain's just operating on misinformation and fear. We correct the misinformation. We dial down the fear. Guess what happens? Symptoms can go away. Reliably, predictably. So, does your diagnosis matter? I don't know, some people get some pretty scary diagnoses. This is torn, that's bulging, that's herniated, this is that, that's that. all sorts of weird, funky diagnoses. It never surprises me. Well, it always surprises me that somebody will be like, well, I was diagnosed with this. And I'm like, never heard of that. Go look it up, and it's some medical thing that they claim is causative of the pain. But yet, they scored high on the pain test, and people get better. So does your diagnosis really matter? I would say no, for the most part. Rule out the life-threatening. Those diagnoses, they matter. Deal with them medically, for sure. Don't mess around. Infections, fractures, cancers, tumors, heart disease, strokes. Those diagnoses matter. Take care of them medically. We need doctors for crises. The vast majority of chronic pain or symptoms are not crisis level. They're the brain perceiving danger. So, to that point, if you've ruled out the life-threatening and ruled in perceived danger symptoms, please stop using your diagnosis as a label. Stop walking around saying, I have fibro, I have CFS, I have pudendal neuralgia, I have trigeminal neuralgia. If you've ruled in TMS, you don't have those things. That's the medical terminology for what they think it is, but in most cases, the doctors don't have a cure for you because the doctors don't have a medical cure. Key phrase medical. Doctors don't have a medical cure for something that's created by the brain perceiving danger. But you know what? You've got the cure. You hear it every day here on my channel. You hear it from all other amazing TMS mind-body practitioners out there. The cure is within you. The cure is recover from the fear. You neutralize the fear with accurate information by understanding. So knowledge is the first thing. This is knowledge therapy. And then you apply safety therapy to basically teach your brain you're okay. The combination of knowledge and safety is wonderful. It works predictably well. So, does your diagnosis really matter? No. Please don't get stuck on your diagnosis. Don't make that your handle name on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Don't wear it like a badge of honor, you know. Distance yourself from that diagnosis as much as possible, because with the diagnosis, guess what else comes along with it? All of the fear that you've read about that diagnosis. So let's distance ourselves from medical diagnoses once we have ruled out life-threatening and ruled in TMS or perceived danger pain. Does that make sense? Because why would you want to walk around saying, I have this, this, or that, if you don't? It'll just hold you back. So, I'm going to wrap this one up. Love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.